Hello, everyone. Welcome to this exclusive session that we have for you today. And before we start with the session, I would quickly like to understand if I'm audible. So if I'm audible, please do type a yes in the chat box. And yes, great. Thank you. Thank you so much for your confirmations out there. And also, I would like to say that if you have any questions about this session that we have for you, please do mention in the chat box and we will address them, by end of the session out there. Also, to begin with the session, I would quickly like to talk a little bit about Galvanize Global Education, who we are and what exactly we do. So we're happy to share that Galvanize is, helping students for their basic preparations for their study abroad dreams, wherein the baby step that you take, that is with respect to giving your exams like GRE, IELTS, TOEFL or SAT out there. And not only that, Galvanize has a team of experts helping students for their admission counseling services, wherein we help you for bachelor's, master's and doctorate degree out there. And what do we do in the admission counseling services? We help you right from selecting the right university based on your profile, your interest and many more activities. We do help you for documentation process with respect to statement of purpose, letter of recommendations, and many more such activities. And not only that, Galvanize is at your back for your last minute assistance for other activities, wherein we help you connect with the right loan providers, courier services, foreign exchange, and many more such activities. Well, we're very proud and happy to share that Galvanize is actually founded and managed by alumni from top universities like Stanford, Harvard, IIT Madras, and IIM Ahmedabad. Well, you can see that 65 plus countries have chosen Galvanize in their journey of higher education, may it be test prep or admission services out there. Galvanize has helped students across the globe. And not only that, we have helped our students get placed across 1,000 plus universities across 18 plus countries out there. And I'm pretty sure you would be seeing your dream destination out there today on screen. And we will help you achieve that dream for sure. Well, this is a very famous thread on Quora, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you are there on Quora and you would be, looking for various aspects out there. But I would urge you to go and take a look at these two links that are there, because this is something students have shared about their journey with Galvanize for their admission services as well as for test prep. And not to forget, I do feel that, a lot of you would be using our mobile applications, but if not, do take a look at our mobile applications, which are there on Play Store for Android and Apple out there. And these mobile applications are quite handy, easy to use, and not to forget, it's a gamified app wherein you will learn new things in an easy way, in a fun-loving way out there. With that, I would like to begin the first poll that we have for the day, wherein we would like to understand how familiar are you with the application process for universities out there? Okay, I see you are somewhat familiar out there. Okay. Great. So with this, we have got an idea that you guys are somewhat familiar, and I'm pretty sure this session will help you more confident as to, how important it is for the documentation process out there. And with that, I would like to end the first poll now. Great. Moving forward, I have something exclusive for you, wherein we would like to announce that for today's webinar, we do have a free profile evaluation for which I will be sharing the link shortly in the chat box. But I would urge you to take a look at the profile evaluation form and fill in, because this is something we help students in more detail as to understand how they can overcome the shortcomings that are there in their profile to get their dream university out there. Stay tuned to make use of this opportunity, as I will be sharing the link shortly in the chat box. And with that, I would like to introduce to you our host for today's webinar. We have with us Uttara Rajasekar, who is the editorial manager at Galvanize Global Education. And a little bit about her background. Well, you could see that she's graduated from London School of Economics, where she pursued her master's in management science. And not only that, she has 6+ years of experience in content management and editing domain. She has worked on various applications of essays for graduate and undergraduate students who have received from distinguished universities for US USA, UK, Europe, you name the country, and you would find Uttara students out there with their amazing SOPs out there, because a lot of time universities do have specific SOPs out there, and she has been helping students with her expertise out there. And with that, I would request Uttara to start with the session for today's webinar.
Yes, thank you, Ramya, for the kind words. Just a sec, let me just share my screen.
Yeah. Sure.
Yes, all right. So, hello all, welcome to this session. And, thank you for coming on a Saturday. My name is Uttara, and I'm the editorial manager at Galvanize Global Education. I'm going to give a general overview of the editorial process and documentation involved in postgraduate study abroad applications. All right. So, as some of you may already know, these are the common documents that most universities require. The first three are the main documents which are customary that all applicants must focus on submitting. Post completing those documents, one can concentrate on any other ancillary document that universities may mandate, such as the diversity statement, the personal history statement, and the scholarship essay. In the succeeding slides, I will explore all the above mentioned documents in detail. All right. One thing that I want to emphasize is that admissions abroad is a very, very holistic process. The main thing that most master's applicants seem to overlook is that all and any application document needs to be given the required amount of attention and energy. Most of the applicants only focus on the ever popular statement of purpose and neglect documents such as the resume and the letter of recommendation, which are equally important and play a vital part in your application package. Now, see, what I want everybody to remember and keep in mind is that given the huge volume of documents that every admissions officer is going to be looking at, there is no room for error. One must ensure all documents meet the application stipulations. Moreover, the admissions officer will be examining your entire profile through all the documents that you submit. So this implies they will want to know about your grades, your marks, your test scores, your academic background, your internships, research projects, scholastic activities, etc. And all this information is going to be spread across all your documents, such as the transcripts, the resumes, the SOP, and LORs. What I wish to emphasize is that please do not fixate or obsess over only one document, especially the statement of purpose. I know that many students tend to obsess over only this document. See, I know that the SOP is vital, but so are all the other documents. No admission officer is only going to look at your SOP and give an admit. So please ensure that you concentrate and spread your attention and energy across all the documents. Okay. All right. Now coming, let's just look at the resume. The important trait of this document is to be brief and concise. See, in a resume, one must highlight the various aspects of your profile, such as education, professional experience, extracurricular pursuits, and community welfare activities, research projects, etc. So to be on the safer side, I would say all applicants must ensure that resumes do not exceed 2 pages. Also, many US universities nowadays are asking for a 1-page resume. So if possible, make a 1-page resume. If that is not possible, stick to 2 pages. Again, what I would like to reiterate is that admissions officers go through lots of resumes in a day. So ensure you make your resume crisp and compact. Okay, now let's just look at the do's and don'ts of a resume. As important as it is to be brief, it is also equally important to be truthful and to stick to the facts. What I want to say is that do not make tall claims in the hopes of, padding your resume and exaggerating your credentials. Also, I've noticed many applicants adding their 10th grade and 12th grade marks in the resume, which is completely unnecessary. For the purpose of postgraduate admissions abroad, your last 4 years of undergraduate experience plus work experience, if any, carries more weight. Furthermore, in an academic resume, it is not necessary to provide one's photograph. Also, unlike the job-seeking resume, there is no need to use different colors or additional graphics in the document. We need to do all this in order to maintain a small file size, since most documents are to be uploaded into the university application portal. All right. Yes. Now, let us take a closer look at an extract from a resume that was submitted to one of our editors. From the points the applicant has provided, it is very obvious that this pertains to a job description, provided, under certain analytics or data science related job roles found in common job search sites like LinkedIn and Naukri. See, from the given extract, it is very obvious that these sentences are not talking about the applicant's contribution to his work experience or a particular data science project. Rather, these are clearly very general descriptions of any kind of an analytics job role. You can discern that from points, like strong oral and written communication, ability to tell a story, be willing to learn quickly, ability to write SQL. So these are all general points. They do not relate to any particular project, that the applicant has worked on. These kind of points will be, available in any kind of job description for analytics roles, right? So instead of copying content, please brainstorm, think, and enter original points relevant to your work experience. Never copy paste content from any source online or otherwise. Such malpractice will immediately get picked up by, the plagiarism softwares that universities abroad will be utilizing. Yes? All right. Okay, now let us begin with everyone's favorite document, which is the statement of purpose. This is, the most popular application document that everyone will immediately recognize. The SOP might also go by the name of personal essay, personal statement, or even letter of motivation. They all basically refer to the statement of purpose only. Now, there are certain key aspects that every statement of purpose must contain. So, why do you wish to study this particular subject? Backup, you need to show your inclination for studying this subject by talking about your education, your educational background, the projects and internships, as well as any online courses that you've done. And please do remember, do mention any challenges that you may have faced at work or while studying and how you overcame them. So also make it a point to mention all group work and team leadership work that you might have done. And most importantly, never forget to talk about your goals and ambitions and career aspirations. Another crucial factor in every SOP is the word count. That is generally a very common misconception that lengthier SOPs are better. That is hardly the case, since most admissions officers will have very limited time to read through, lengthy drafts and come to a decision. So considering the volume of applications as an applicant, you must ensure your SOP is not too tedious to read. This includes fitting the right information in a concise SOP and not to make it a very lengthy or rambling draft. All right. Now, let us take a closer look at the structure of the statement of purpose. See, like any other essay, the SOP will also include a standard format of introduction, body, and conclusion structure, where you will need to cover all areas relevant to the intended program of study, as well as how and why you are a suitable prospective student for the concerned program and university. So in the first introductory paragraphs, it will be good to start with an attention getter, which can be a quote or a personal anecdote. Also, you must include the exact program name and title you are targeting. We will discuss this in depth about, the attention getter in the subsequent slides. Now, coming to the body of the essay, ensure you describe your undergraduate journey, your professional highlights, and any extracurricular pursuits as well. Make a note to emphasize on the learnings from the said experiences. See, what I imply is that I don't want you to, just talk about those experiences as is. Don't talk about the mundane aspects of all the experiences, but rather, talk about the important aspects of each and every experience. What was your contribution? How did you help the team? So always talk about the highlighting factors. And in the conclusive paragraphs, you should definitely dedicate some words about the particular university. So the paragraphs towards the end must cover why this university, and also talk about your future goals and ambitions. Okay, let us take a closer look at what we mean by attention getter. Attention getter is basically a literary device used to catch the attention of your reader in the very beginning of the essay. In this case, our reader is going to be the university admissions officer or the university admissions committee. This attention getter ensures the reader's interest, and so that the reader continues to read the essay till the end of the essay. A boring first paragraph might put off any reader from going through the rest of the essay. Now, this can be achieved either through the use of a quote or an anecdote. There are lots of popular quotes that can be utilized that relate to your program of study, or from a renowned personality from the industry, or any personal favorite quote of yours that is relevant to your profile. So over here, we have listed out a few examples of popular data science and analytics quotes that our students have utilized in their essays. See, some of the popular quotes I've noticed are, by Satya Nadella, everything is going to be connected to cloud and data. Another popular quote is, by Edwards Deming, in God we trust, all others must bring data. So there are many such quotes like this. This is a very small sample. So if you've got any, particular mentor or, any idol in that field, and if you want to, enter a quote by them, you can use that as an attention getter in your statement of purpose. All right. Now, let us look at an example of attention getter in the form of an anecdote. Anecdotes must be short, memorable, witty, and meaningful incidents that have taken place in your life. See, a quote, in the previous slide, I talked about a quote. A quote is something that somebody else has come up with. But in an anecdote, you need to talk about something from, your life, something that has happened in your life. So if you want to use an anecdote, make sure that you have something that is personal to you and is relevant to your profile and life, in terms of, why you eventually decided to apply to this program and or study abroad. So in this example that we are showing you, the applicant says that his favorite childhood memory is of watching cricket and being intrigued and mesmerized by the predictions of runs, wickets, and other such match statistics that he has seen on TV. So basically over here, the editor has beautifully connected the applicant's fondness for cricket and cricket match analytics, to his interest to study for a master's in analytics and data science. Now, this makes for a very nice and personable attention getter. Yes, let us consider the SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis refers to strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I'm sure all of you would have come across this term before. As an applicant, it is always good practice to note down your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats before you begin drafting your SOP, because your responses can be used in multiple areas within the SOP, right? So once you complete your SWOT exercise on your experiences, you will be able to identify the areas that are your strengths and accordingly highlight them and showcase your suitability for the intended program of study. So for example, if you're a numerically inclined person and have been consistently good in math and also have a strong prowess over programming, you can easily market yourself as a suitable candidate for data science or analytics program. Similarly, any opportunities that you see in your field can be used as reasons as to why you feel you need to educate yourself further through this master's degree, and how it will benefit you. Now, it is common knowledge that big data analytics is ruling the roost across multiple sectors. Hence, anyone with data science knowledge or background will likely land a job very quickly. Now, when it comes to weaknesses or threats, you need to look at them as potential areas for growth. They are not something that you need to worry about, but they are aspects that you definitely need to strengthen. So maybe in terms of your knowledge, you might feel that you need to upgrade your skills and thereby need to study for a particular PG program. Maybe at your workplace, there is a particular technical, difficulty that you're facing, and you're unable to overcome that. And you feel that, through this higher education, you'll be able to improve your career trajectory. So no matter what the weakness or threat, all that can be handled through the pursuit of further study. Basically, ensure you are able to connect how and what you will gain through the pursuit of this master's degree and explain how much of a difference it will bring to your life. This kind of reasoning in an SOP will impress upon the minds of the admissions officers why you must pursue this master's program, and also highlight your suitability to the concerned. All right. Now, coming to the do's and don'ts of a statement of purpose. The first point is very important. Always, always, always start early. SOP writing calls for a lot of self-introspection, and this takes a lot of time. Do not wait till the week of the application deadline to begin your draft. Many times, while elaborately talking about your field of study, many applicants forget to mention the exact program title and specialization that you wish to pursue. Be sure to include that as well. All right. Use formal English. Do not use local slang or informal or casual words. And make sure you follow university instructions. Basically, I'm talking about, word limit stipulations, and each and every university will give instructions about what they want to be included in their essay. So make sure you check with the university website. I will be elaborating about all this in the subsequent slides. Okay, be honest and ensure that you do not copy paste content from the SOP. I know I told this about resumes as well. See, it is very important for all documents. Please make sure that you do not pick up certain lines from the web and paste it, or insert it in your document. Your SOP will be disqualified immediately once the plagiarism is detected. So make sure that you don't do any such thing. And also avoid controversial statements that relate to politics or religion anywhere in the SOP. All right. Okay, so these were the main do's and don'ts. Yes, now let us talk about university-specific statement of purposes. So what do I mean when I say university-specific SOP? Is basically just the SOP, but what I'm telling is, please take care to customize your SOP to each and every university that you are applying to. This implies the SOP must contain certain content that is applicable to that particular university. At least one paragraph worth of content dedicated to that university is required. So suppose if you're applying to New York University, then your SOP must be customized to New York University specifications, right? University-specific content implies certain unique aspects that attracts the applicants to study there. So, we can include content on coursework modules, internships, project options, as well as, renowned faculty in the department, academic and social clubs that you are, as an applicant, you are eager to be a part of. Submitting a customized SOP ensures you stand out against other applicants who have not taken the effort to actually go through the program website and jot down these points. So even if you've got a very average profile, by showing that you've done your research regarding a particular program or university in terms of finding out about their faculty and syllabus, research facilities, general infrastructure, etc., you will be able to show that you're a determined prospective student. This will create a positive impact in the minds of the admissions committee, and that is your ultimate goal. Yes. Okay. All right. Now let us consider some unique questions that are asked in statement of purposes. All right. See, by unique questions, what I am referring to is that many MBA programs, masters in management, engineering management, marketing management, such kind of programs, as well as, certain very high ranking and, distinguished universities tend to ask very unique and quirky questions instead of, a straightforward normal SOP. So this implies a normal essay is not being asked. Instead, a series of probing questions will be posed to the applicant. Nothing to worry. Generally, you will be able to answer these questions. The content you will need will be similar to the ones you will require to frame the SOP in general. So, only for some unusual questions, you might need to self-reflect and, brainstorm and call out meaningful answers. In this slide, I have selected, a few samples just so that you can get an idea of the kind of questions that are asked. So one of our students, applied for the marketing management program at ESSEC. ESSEC is a very famous university in Europe. So you can look at the question that they've asked. They have not asked, why you want to study marketing. That's, a simple, straightforward question. They have not asked that. They have asked what matters most to you and why. Tell us the values and experiences that have shaped the person you are. Now, ESSEC asked a lot of questions. This is one among that. So like that, you can look at University of Chicago's MBA question, Booth School of Business. So they've asked a question about personal growth, and they've asked to talk about professional development as well. So in addition to sharing about your experience and goals in terms of career, we'd like to learn more about you outside of the office. Use this as opportunity to tell us something about who you are. So over here, they are talking about, they want to know about stuff outside of the office. So they're not just asking about, what projects you've done, what is the size of the team or something of that sort. They're asking about something more personal. So these kind of questions, generally need time to answer. And also you need to think, reflect, and then come up with the ideas. So that is why it is very important to, start with the SOPs early on. All right. Okay. Now let us have a quick look at, some of the unique cases that we had at Galvanize last year. Now this person, Mr. Swaraj Bosali, is a very bright student with a very well accomplished profile. So we are going to, he got into Technical University of Munich, and he got into the MS program for Earth-oriented space science and technology. All right. So I'm going to look at an excerpt from his SOP. See, in this SOP, what I wanted to talk about was the university-specific paragraph. See, the standout feature was this paragraph that encapsulates why Swaraj's interest aligns with that of TUM. Please remember, many students do not get the value of adding a university-specific paragraph, but it is very, very important that you connect why you like this university to what the university offers. All right. So let us look at some lines from this paragraph. The Technical University of Munich is known for its well-designed curriculum and research practices on earth science and technology. I am inspired to perform cutting-edge research in this area as I was part of the NOAA satellite tracking program at my university satellite center. So what is he doing? He is drawing a parallel between his experience at his undergraduate university satellite center and his aspiration to work on a similar subject and research that TUM is offering. Another line is, that I really like was, I'm also interested to work on design and testing of federated inter-satellite link networks, given my experience in developing CubeSat for my nation, which perfectly aligns with my research interests. So again, over here, he's connecting the fact that he would like to work on TUM's, satellite link network, given his prior experience on helping on CubeSat. CubeSat was basically through an internship that he had done. So at every sentence in the university-specific paragraph, we are reiterating how his profile and specific research and academic interests perfectly aligns with what the university is offering. So this kind of a university-specific paragraph goes a long way in ensuring the reader, that is the admissions committee, is made aware of how suitable the candidate is to, the particular university that he is wishing to join. Yes. Now, another interesting case is that of Samar Krishna. He secured a seat in the coveted Johns Hopkins University for a master's in public health. He's actually an undergraduate. He's done his undergraduate in medicine, so he's a doctor, right? So he wanted to study master's in public health. And this is one of the paragraphs in his SOP that, really is a very moving paragraph that shows, why he wanted to do master's in public health. So let us go through some lines from that. So he starts off with saying, once I saw a single mother unable to purchase life-saving drugs for her child suffering from leukemia. And another line, in another sentence, he states, while visiting the hospital during his uncle's treatment, he noticed that middle-income families are facing a lot of burden with regards to health expenditures and, hospital costs. And finally, he ends the paragraph by saying, healthcare for all implies not only accessibility, but also affordability. Now, these incidents reinforced my determination to pursue public health. Now, this paragraph from his SOP beautifully captures the essence of why he chose to pursue masters in public health. It is very important to bring out anecdotes that have enabled the candidate to take a step forward towards their particular higher education program and subject. In the above mentioned excerpt, Samantha has detailed certain touching and very real examples from his life that, highlight what views and events that sculpted his interest towards public health. The reason he shared, the reason why what he shared has shed a light on why he must pursue this program. It gives the exact reason as to, why he so badly wants to do a master's in public health and how the learnings from this program will, help him in mitigating public health crisis faced by many developing nations such as ours. So it is very important that every SOP must contain a paragraph like this. This is with regards to public health, but even if you want to do a master's in, computer science or data analytics or, any other subject, sociology or economics. So make sure that, you give moving reasons and, personal reasons as to why you want to study that particular subject, because this will make it very, immediately evident to, the reader that, you are a very serious candidate and you are very interested in pursuing this master's program. All right. So this is the final example. This is of Mr. Nagaraj Makhan, who is now pursuing a very exciting Masters of Fine Arts in Interactive Design and Game Development. He's studying this from the prestigious Savannah College of Arts and Design. He's done his undergraduate in mechanical engineering, right? So let us look at an excerpt from his SOP. One important part of his SOP is the section where he talks about his future career goals and ambitions. Now, this is very vital as it shows to the admissions committee, why this program is going to add value to his life and his career pathway. So, let us look at some sentences. My career goal is to be part of this exciting field as gaming artists and to work primarily with renowned MNCs such as Ubisoft and Rockstar Gaming. I believe this MFA experience would empower me to set up my own production company and set a standard in the industry. So in this excerpt, you can see that Nagaraj just talked about, his immediate goal of working in certain gaming enterprises, as well as his long-term ambition of founding his own startup. This explains to the reader that Nagaraj has made some plans that deal with him completing the concerned master's program and applying the learnings in the real world. So discussing your life goals and career aspirations lets the admission officer know that you are serious towards completing your graduate study and you already have plans and you have a life envisioned after that degree. So this is a very important paragraph and this must be included in every SOP. Okay. All right. Now that we have spoken in detail about SOPs, let us focus on letters of recommendation. All right. So when it comes to letters of recommendation, recommenders are, generally academic or, they can be corporate personal also. So if you're still in college, you are most likely going to use recommendations from your undergraduate university. And, if you're a working professional, then you can go ahead and select a combination of recommenders Say 2 from your workplace, 1 from your college. And if you've been in the workplace for many years, then you can very well, have an all corporate list of recommenders from your places of employment. Generally, 3 LORs are required. Some universities only ask for 2. But again, you have to check with every university website for the number of, letters of recommendation that they ask. Make sure that you choose valuable recommenders who have interacted with you for at least 6 months or more and can vouch for your academic and professional credibility. So make sure that you worked with that person for a considerable period of time. So if you've done a very short 2-week internship or something, it might not always be advisable to get a LOR from them, because the recommender must know you enough to give you a good recommendation that at least goes for 1 page. So it is very important that you do it, you select recommenders who know you well. Yeah. Now the LOR will follow a formal letter format. LOR must describe the recommender's opinion of your suitability to the concerned program. The letter must cover the length and breadth of your experience with the recommender. This could be, expressed via projects that you've done with the recommender, subjects that you've studied under the recommender. The recommender is your professor. Tests and assessments that you've done, interaction with colleagues. So all this is going to be coming from the point of view of the recommender. So, the impact on your team or the impact on your organization that you've had. So all these kind of things are the points that you can include in your letter of recommendation. Now, coming to the do's and don'ts of letter of recommendation, ensure your LOR is not filled with too many superlative adjectives. It will look very contrived, false, and inauthentic. All right. So, I've just given 2 lines picked up from, some LORs that we had to modify, that our editors had to modify. So look at the line. See, my mind was blown away to see such incredibly high scores despite the bad difficulties and hardships faced by him. Next is, I wholeheartedly believe after completing his MS with flying colors, he shall realize his huge potential and inevitably attain exemplary heights in his profession. See, these lines need to be simplified. Using too many superlative adjectives, realize his huge potential, attain exemplary heights. So it is true that every recommender will want to say positive things, but it is also important that, it looks original and authentic. It should not look too self-praising, too praiseworthy, because then it's going to come across as false. See, I will tell you the reason why. Sentences such as these look cliched. And most of the time, I've noticed this issue arises when there are certain cases where the student drafts the LOR and the recommender just agrees to sign the draft. And this happens, when the faculty is in college and, they're very busy. And they ask the student to draft the LOR and they agree to sign it. So whenever the students end up drafting the LORs and getting the signature from the recommender, we have noticed, such kind of situations where, too many self-praising words are used in the letter. So please avoid that. Yeah. And like many other application documents, LORs must not exceed 1 page. See, basically, the average length of an LOR is around 500 words. So within 1 single page, depending on the font used, you can even fit up to 650 words. But a lengthy LOR is not the goal, right? Rather, the applicant must see to it that the recommender provides a well-balanced and factual account of, your performance or, your work. The recommended endorsement of the candidate must shine through via the LOR. And also one more important point is, since the document is written by the recommenders, make sure that the language is dignified and professional. It must be formal English. And again, obviously we cannot include any casual words or slangs. All right. Now that we have covered, the most commonly asked documents, that is, the resume, the statement of purpose, and the letters of recommendation, I would like to talk about some additional documents that are required by many universities. So the first such additional document is known as the research statement. A research statement, as the name suggests, is a technical document which entails all relevant details regarding, your research interest and plans. Mostly this document is only required by certain PhD programs and also some very research intensive master's programs, right? the admissions committee uses this document to gauge the preparedness and research potential of the applicant for this particular program, for the program that you're applying. So the essay must recount all research allied exposure that you have had so far. And depending upon the prior research experience of yourself, the length of the essay will vary. So it's best to stick to 1 to 2 page research statements. But, if you've already got extensive research, or, maybe you've already worked in a research lab in India, and then you're applying abroad, so, you might have a lot of research publications, then it is possible that the statement might flow over to, 2.5 pages or something. But still, it is a technical document. Make sure that it is also brief and concise. All right. Okay. Now, let us look at a diversity statement. Now, diversity statement is another, popular document. Increasingly, it's becoming increasingly popular, and it is asked by many universities abroad, especially for master's applicants. Yeah. Now, diversity statement looks for areas via which you are showing that you have had unique experiences that are different from the average applicant. Basically, they want to know if you can add to the diversity of the incoming cohort. The purpose of this statement is to identify candidates who have the required professional skills, experience, and or willingness to engage in activities that would enhance the diversity and equity efforts. In general, these statements are opportunities for applicants to explain to the admissions committee the distinct experiences and commitment that they bring to the table. So in this essay, you can focus on, social work, volunteering activities, and you can also talk about how you've impacted the lives of people from different socio-economic backgrounds. So basically talk about the unique life experience through which you have touched people from different economic strata, right? So if you have experienced any economic challenges in getting your higher education, you can talk about that also. And if you've got fluency in other languages, or if you've got experience living in bicultural communities, then you can talk about that. And you can talk about any work that has impacted marginalized people in the society. But one important thing is that you must remember to not include the same content that is already there in the SOP into this document. See, if a university is going to ask for diversity statement, they are going to ask for it on top of the SOP. That is in addition to the statement of purpose. So there is no point repeating the same points, the same content across multiple essays. That's wrong. So make sure that the statement of purpose points remain distinct, and diversity statement must have other points. Yeah, that's the way you need to divide your content and life experiences and then input them. All right. Now let us look at the personal history statement. Now, personal history statement is kind of similar to the diversity statement, not very, but kind of similar. Most of the times, many universities don't ask for both personal history statement and diversity statement. They ask for either one. Now, a personal history statement looks for challenges and triumphs in the personal, academic, and professional life of the applicant. These can be socio-economic challenges, family concerns, financial, aspects, health issues that you might have faced. The personal history statement must provide a background about who you are and how your experiences have shaped your interests and shaped your ability to overcome challenges. For example, if you are from an army background and you have shifted to many schools over the years and gained a level of proficiency in multiple languages, and developed your understanding of different cultures and communities through such an exposure, you can describe that experience in this personal history statement. Or maybe you're the first university graduate from your family, or you're the first to aspire to study abroad, or the first to have studied engineering. Now all these make for great personal history statement points. It is very rare for a university to ask for both personal history statement and diversity statement, and this I've already told you. So just remember to again divide the points across the essays and use it. Over here, again, you must remember, do not copy same content like in the SOP into the personal history statement. So remember to, bifurcate your experiences, plan, that's why I'm saying you should start writing essays before, so that you plan out which experience goes into which essay, and then you are able to do it. All right, now let us look at another document. This is known as the scholarship essay. So if you're in need of financial assistance to pay for college, chances are that you'll be applying to several scholarship essays. Now, a great scholarship essay will help the scholarship provider understand the real person and the real reason behind, applying for a scholarship. Now, each scholarship provider is going to look for students who meet certain criteria. All right. So make sure you identify and focus on the purpose of the scholarship. Suppose if the scholarship is for women in engineering, describe the obstacles you have faced as women and, as women, and how you have overcome those, and, what your accomplishments are despite your status. And, you must talk about how you're going to utilize that scholarship money. So obviously scholarship money is going to go for tuition fee and everything, but you need to describe how it will be contributing to your long-term goals, like how this education is going to contribute to your long-term goals, and that is why you need the scholarship. So you have to give enough reasons and backup as to why you want to do this program, and how the scholarship money is going to help you get that. And discuss any unique attributes that make you eligible for the scholarship. So because again, for scholarship essays, there will be other candidates, you will be competing with many people. So, make sure that you go through the university website, you go through the scholarship, mission, and try to bring out points in which way you will be able to contribute to the university's goals and to the scholarship mission along with your long-term goals. So you need to connect all that. See, basically, you need to show why you are a worthy candidate of significance, and you need to highlight all your strong points. Ensure all this will ensure that you stand a fighting chance of securing the necessary scholarship. So always show all your highlighting strong points in the scholarship essay. All right, now let me talk about Galvanize. At Galvanize Global Education, we have in place a team of qualified and trained editors, very well qualified editors, who have experience relevant to the domain. Also, we follow pretty transparent document drafting process. So applicants, are kept informed every step of the way on the development of your documents. So, you will be knowing what is happening to the document. You can get in touch with the editors via the Google Comments feature, and you can contact your Galvanize counselor also for any other queries regarding the documents. Now, at Galvanize, we follow very strict editorial guidelines, and we consistently check for plagiarism. And we also ensure that the documents are error-free through the use of Grammarly and also the inbuilt, Google Docs spell checks. There are many such, softwares available for checking, plagiarism and, grammar and everything. So we use multiple softwares to ensure the document is, error-free and free of plagiarism. All right. Now, let us look at the content collection and communication process at Galvanize. As I have mentioned before, for all documents, applicants are required to provide the initial raw inputs. So basically, the information that you are going to give is what the editors will be using as a bedrock to frame the essays. The editors cannot create content. The editors can only use the content that you've given and make it better, enhance it, and make sure that it is according to university stipulations. So, no matter what essay, resume, or what kind of document, the raw information, the basic content must come from your end. Yeah. So we will use that information and draft impressive essays. In addition to the above, what I would like to tell is that the Google Docs comments feature is the primary tool that the editors use to communicate with the students. It is a very simple and easy to understand tool. So all essential edits and communications, notifications about the drafts and modifications required will be made using the Google Doc comments feature. All right. Now, coming to the document pathway. Now, this is the general pathway. What I'm showing on screen is the general pathway that any document that we process will takes. So once once you've provided the initial inputs for a particular document, the editor will come up with the first draft. And then once the first draft is ready, you'll be notified. Then, you and the editor can, based on other modifications required, more drafts will be created. And once you are satisfied and the editor is sure that the document is ready, then the essay will be finalized, right? So this is the general document pathway. This applies to all documents, SOP, LORs, any kind of essay. This is the, cycle that we go through. All right, so this is a snapshot of, the Galvanize portal. So I would like to point out that there are specific areas within the Galvanize portal where you can view document guidelines. See, under resume, there'll be resume guidelines, SOP guidelines, letter of recommendation guidelines. Like, how I have explained in this meeting, you will be able to, you can go through these guidelines and get an idea of what is required from each and every document. So we encourage you, to make the best use of these kind of resources, so that, as and when you submit your inputs, you will also understand whether you're giving the correct inputs and, what is the requirement from each and every document. All right. Oh, now, see, again, I would like to reiterate that at Galvanize, we follow a very systematic editorial process. And, I'm very happy that we have a very diligent editorial team. So nevertheless, we definitely do require the cooperation of applicants, that is yourselves, to ensure that you submit the inputs, on time, and also communicate well, and, get your doubts and concerns clarified. This will ensure that, the documents are to your satisfaction and are ready well before the application deadlines. Yes. All right. So thank you for, listening patiently, and hope you've understood what I've said. Yes. Ramya, I'm done with my part.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. So I would like to give a short break to you as well, just a few seconds out there, so that I could quickly help students also understand a little bit in depth about how Galvanize can help them, because they have been asking, a couple of students have been asking, how Galvanize can actually help them out there. And with that, I would like to begin this conversation with a short poll, wherein I would like to understand how would you like to prepare for the standardized test that is there for higher education abroad? Okay, I see it's fluctuating between self-prep. Oh, okay, online courses, live classes, great. Okay, so with this, I've got an idea that major of you are looking at self-prep, with a couple of you are looking with some additional structured, personalized online courses as well. And with that, I would like to end this poll, and I would quickly like to run another poll here, the last poll that I have for the day, wherein I would like to understand from whom would you like to seek assistance for your test prep or admission process basically out there. So this would give me an idea and help you understand briefly how Galvanize can actually help you in your journey. So a lot of you are looking at study abroad consultants, and this really makes me happy to share and explain how Galvanize can actually help you out there. And with that, I would like to end the poll, and I would like to proceed further and help you understand how exactly Galvanize team helps student out there. So moving forward, as I initially mentioned, we do have free mobile applications, which is handy, wherein you get to learn the words and, a little bit about the GRE kind of questions that you might land up in the exam. But in case you are looking at a bigger picture wherein you want a guidance, then we do have online courses wherein it ranges from a 45 days plan to a 1-year plan based on your requirement, or in fact, I would say based on the test date that you have in your mind. So in case you're looking for a crash course, we have a 45 days course. You're looking for a 3 months plan, a 6 months plan, or a 1-year plan. Yes, of course, there are various courses available at Galvanize. And not only that, we do have for language proficiency as well, wherein we help you for your IELTS and TOEFL prep as well. And moving forward, like we have a team of experts helping for the admission counseling, and what exactly we follow in the admission counseling process is what I will be talking in the upcoming slide. So here are some of the perks and advantages of being with Galvanize. As I saw, a lot of you had mentioned that you are looking for a personalized guidance out there. So yes, of course, you would be getting a personalized study plan based on your areas of weaker section, your target score, and the number of days that you have in your hand. Not only that, you will get extensive practice questions for your test preparations, followed by mock series. And not only that, but yes, of course, an unlimited expert who will be solving all your content related doubts. Now, some of the benefits, I'm not sure if a lot of you are aware that there are some changes in the TOEFL test pattern as well as the GRE test pattern that you will be coming across going forward. So we will be having an updated test pattern at most affordable rate, but with expert guidance out there. And here we go. As today's webinar is more focused on the documentation process, I would like to help you understand how Galvanize works. So basically, we begin our journey with a profile evaluation call, wherein we do understand your profile, your area of interest, your budget, and various other factors through a conversation, a deep conversation with the counselor. Moving forward, we help you with university shortlisting based on your area of interest, and then we help you with the documentation process, wherein we help you finalize your resume, SOP, LOR. Basically, like how Uttara said, we won't be writing, but we need the raw content from your end. Once you submit your details, our counselors, our editors will work on them, and we will make it specific to the university. And that requires a lot of inputs. As you could see, every university have their own requirements. So based on that, our team will help you accordingly. And yes, of course, for the LOR as well. Finally, moving towards the visa process, which is very crucial and very, I would say, final stage of your awaiting period to your dream destination. And that's where we help you with university finalizations, because a lot of time what happens is you have admits, but you're not very sure which one suit you. And that's where our counselors will step in and help you with the university finalization, the documents required for your visa, with more guidance as to, having mock interview videos, help you understand what are the do's and don'ts for the visa, and finally move towards your, process of getting your visa clearance out there. And then we help you with the financing, wherein we help you with connecting the loan right providers, and your pre-departure activities, wherein we help you fix the last minute activities that comes when you're ready to fly to your dream destination out there. And as I said, here's the link for the free profile evaluation. A lot of you have filled in, and we are really glad, and we are waiting to help you, have a conversation with you and help you. But in case you have missed in, please do fill in the form. This is the link, and it's also shared in the chat box. And I would like to freeze the screen here so that you don't miss out on this opportunity, and we will help you understand what are the next steps that you need to take to overcome any shortcomings that are there in your profile to get your dream destination. And with that, I would like to know if Uttara is ready for the Q&A session, and we can take up the questions.
Yes, Ramya, we can go ahead.
Great. So
hey, hi Ramya.
yes, Sahil.
Yeah, so let me take over now.
Sure.
So guys, if you have any questions, you can raise your hands so we can unmute you, and our expert will answer your questions. So I request participants to please raise your hands. Okay, there are a couple of people who have raised hands. Let me see. The first one is Mr. ES. So I'm unmuting you now, so you can ask your questions.
Hi. So I wanted to ask, I only want to buy the test series of Galvanize. The preparation I have done so far. So what are the plans? Can you elaborate about that?
Yes, Isha. So Ramya, can you answer this?
My name is Ishita. Sorry for the abbreviation.
No issues.
Sure, Rishita. No issues. We do have a mock series option as well. And in case you have filled in the form, this will help us connect with you with your contact number, and we can have a conversation in person with you and help you understand what are the courses available. If not, this is the number that is there. You could quickly take a note of this, and we can get in touch with you and help you with the mock series that we have for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Anyone else, please raise your hand, and our team would help you ask the questions out there.
It's Soumya N. So I have unmuted you. You can ask your question.
Hello, ma'am. Regarding the letter of recommendations, I'm sure I'm in the last year of my BE right now. Okay. So my project guides and my professors will give the letter of recommendation directly to the university, right? So how will I be able to access the LOR and edit and stuff like that?
See, basically what we tell over here is, once you connect with the counselor, they will explain the process. So basically what we suggest is that, you get the inputs. We've got a LOR questionnaire, which needs to be answered by the recommender. A LOR questionnaire, contains a lot of nice questions that get the required, information from your recommenders. So what you need to do is you will be required to, basically share that questionnaire with the recommender, and based on what answers we give, our editors will draft it, and that LOR can be shared with your recommender, and if the recommender is fine with it, then they can use that to submit it to the university directly. So that is the kind of process we follow. So that's and what you're saying is right. Most of the universities do ask for direct submissions, but if you know the recommender well, and if the recommender is willing to get inputs from you also, and that does happen more often than not, recommenders are very busy, and you'll not be the only student going for LORs. So at that time, if you are able to give genuine points, I'm not talking about very praising false looking points, like genuine points. If you're able to draft that into a good LOR and give it to the recommender, then they will be willing to upload that directly into the portal. It actually saves them time, right?
Right, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
The next person is Nandu, who has raised his hand. So Nandu, I'm unmuting you so you can ask your questions.
Yes, Nandu.
I guess the person is not responding.
Okay.
Anyone else who wants to ask a question to ma'am? I see Simon has raised his hand. I'll just unmute him.
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, Simon.
Yes, I'm Simeon from Liberia.
Okay. Yes, tell me.
Yes, I'm studying at the African Methodist Episcopal University.
Okay.
My question has to do with how can I get a practical question online to enable me to study for the real test?
Okay. Basically, I'm not able to understand what you're saying. Can you just type it out?
Yeah, Simon, it will be great if you just type your question.
Yeah, just type it in chat. I'll read that. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
just type.
Anyone else want to ask questions to Ms. Uttara? Can raise your hand. We have just 5 minutes left for the webinar. So it will be great if you raise your hand and ask questions. Ramya, I don't see anyone raising the hands. You can take it forward.
Yeah. So, Uttara, we have few questions with respect to the students out there. I'll quickly just read out to them. We can take, we have last few minutes with us.
Yeah.
I will quickly read out the question, and if you could answer them, that would be really great out there.
Yeah.
So the question goes, are research publications necessary for PhD admissions, or we can go without publications?
See, it would definitely be an added advantage to have a research publication, because you want to apply abroad, isn't it? So in abroad, from an undergraduate level, they focus on research, and they encourage their students to publish in journals and everything. So most likely, and we will definitely encourage you to have research publications. It's okay if you do not have. We do have candidates who were working in the industry, or who had only been teaching in colleges but do not have any research publication. So we have had that kind of candidate also. But again, I would say try to get some research allied experience. Maybe you can work under a professor in the research lab or something. So it is not like you cannot apply at all. Obviously, if you're thinking about applying to very high ranking universities for PhD or for a very research intensive master's program, but if you do not have publications, then it will be like it will be a little bit of a downgrade. So, candidates with more research experience will be given, precedence. But still you can apply, but, I would encourage you to get that required experience. It's not like you cannot apply. You can definitely apply. There will be universities that are willing to, look at applicants with different experiences. Yeah.
So yeah, sure. And also I would like to add one point, that if you could fill in the profile evaluation form, when you get into the process, a counselor could also help you, like, in case you do not have any research publications, how, you can go ahead with the applications, or what universities you can consider out there. So you could just get in touch with us and speak to our experts out there. Uttara, we have another question from a student. When does the letter of recommendation expire, or do they have any expiry date or something?
See, basically, when you're going to be applying abroad, suppose you're applying to, fall 2023, then I would say a recommendation that you had, say, 8 months back, or, last year might work. So I would give a time period of 1.5 years, maximum 2. But actually, ideally, I would prefer 1 year. But, you cannot use something that, was written more than 2 years back. That will not work. So you need a recent letter of recommendation, at least last year's, at least between 8 to 12 months would be like a good time period, I would say. Now, not something beyond that.
Thank you. So we have one question here. If we have an employer with whom we have done an internship for around 3 to 5 months, will that be valuable?
See, it depends on the kind of internship that you did. Was it very, very good, very valuable? And did you do like good work in projects? And did you have like, did you meet with that recommender for, every day for at least 5 hours or something, or 3 hours or something? I know it's an internship, so let's say 3 years. So, depending upon the quality of work that you've done, and if, you've contributed significantly, and if the recommender is willing, then maybe yes, you can write, you can give them as your keep them as your recommender. But ideally, I would suggest anything more than 6 months. I have seen candidates come for 4 months, 5 months experience, with recommenders like that. But again, the quality of experience is very important. So make sure that you've done considerable work in that 5 months time, so that the recommender can vouch for your actions. Yeah. So make sure that all that is covered. It cannot be like, just weekends you went for the internship, for 5 months, and that recommender is willing to write. But again, it will show in the letter of recommendation if you have not done that good work, if you have not contributed to a particular project, because any kind of work requires time, and that comes with the time that you've interacted with the recommender. So it depends. If you have done good work and you've interacted well and you've contributed to something important, then yes.
Okay, we have one last question out here. It's from Tashfia, if I'm not wrong. Sorry to mispronounce your name in case. What kind of soft skills can be associated to a professional science subject, like example, biological science, computer science, etc.? If one quotes a particular mentor who they are directly applying to, let's say a professor whose lab the applicant is aspiring to be accepted in PhD, what will that be considered a clinch?
Okay, see, basically you're talking about what kind of soft skills can be associated to a professional science subject. See, soft skills as in, spoken skills or presentation skills. I'm assuming you're talking about that. So, in any kind of work or job experience, job line, you will need to have good soft skills. So be it biological sciences or, computer science or data science, once you step into the workplace, even if you're going to be a professor at a university, you do need good soft skills so that you're able to, communicate your thoughts and, what you need to teach to everybody else. So I would say, communication is very important, both, strong written and oral communication skills. Other than that, you asked what is difference for PhD physics SOP? Is that the question, Ramya? Can you just repeat the end part of the question?
Yeah, just a second. So if one quotes a particular mentor who they are directly applying to, let's say a professor whose lab the applicant is aspiring to be accepted in PhD, will that be considered as cringe?
Will that be considered as cringe?
Yeah.
See, basically, you can use codes. I think she's talking about a letter of recommendation.
Yes, yes.
See, and she's telling that she wants to use a quote used by the recommender. I mean, yeah. See, so basically, yes, you can use a quote. I don't think it will be considered as cringe. Again, it depends on what quote you're using. And, if it relates to your performance or, something that the recommender says regularly and you admire that, and, it makes a lot of sense and meaning to you, then yes, use it. You can go ahead and use it.
Okay. So I think with that, we have come to an end of the session, and we would like to take one last question out there. And after that, I would really suggest if everyone could fill in the profile evaluation form. In case, we are not able to answer your questions, please fill in the profile evaluation form so that we could get in touch with you and have a conversation with you in more detail. And, whatever doubts you have, additional doubts, you could absolutely ask them. And that's how the last question goes here. Could you please clarify if we can mention about a project that we have worked on, but couldn't provide a supportive document?
Yes, of course you can. There are many people who do online courses also, and in that also they have projects and they do talk about that. So it's not necessary that you must always have a certification or a proof saying that you've done this project. As long as you've worked on that project and you know about that project, see, once you worked on it, you will be able to give sufficient detail about it. And whenever we write be it a letter of recommendation or SOP, anywhere where we talk about a project, I always try to ensure that there is enough amount of detail and specificity involved in it, because that is going to ensure that the project we are talking about is true and authentic. So somebody who's reading it will understand that, okay, this person has done this project, has worked on this project, and they've talked about it clearly. So it is okay if you don't have a certificate, you can talk about the project, but make sure that you talk about your contribution to the project, and how did you, maybe if you worked in a group, how did you help your batchmates, and what exactly you gained from the project. So it's all about the way you present that experience and that particular project. You can talk about it even if you don't have the certificate. That's not a problem.
So here I would like to ask Sahil. Nandu would like to ask a question. Could you please unmute him once?
Yeah, Ramya, yeah.
Sure, thank you.
Give me a minute.
Yeah, so Nandu, we are unmuting you. Please be ready with your questions. And this would be the last question we are taking up for the day, post which we will get in touch with you. Yeah.
Ma'am, I am audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Ma'am, currently I am an MC student, final year student. So I want to go to Germany, ma'am. So I doubt with what to write in Germany. I don't select any university. Just to clarify that what is the SOP and LOR further steps to apply each university in Germany.
See, basically German universities, like any other university, require a statement of purpose, letter of recommendation, and they also have their own, I think, resume requirements also. But ideally, I would suggest you connect with a counselor, and they will give you a short list of universities and tell you how to progress further. But there are lots of popular German universities. I showed you one case study, right, of Swaraj. So there are very good German universities that you can apply. Again, start applying early. So if you want to apply for the next year because you're in the final year, so I'm assuming you want for fall 2023 or something, then you should begin your application process. And so all the documents that I spoke about in this, meeting, all that will be required. So a resume, SOP, and letters of recommendation, all that is required. Depending on the program that you apply to, if you're applying to a very research-oriented program, maybe you might need a research.
I'm doing MS in artificial AI, ma'am. MS in AI.
Okay, so you want to do MS in AI. All right.
Yeah,
so I think for that, because it is straightforward and very industry-oriented masters, I don't think you will need a research statement, but definitely SOP is required, and LORs and resume. And in your SOP, you need.
How many SOPs and LOR prefer from faculties like that?
See, what I'm saying is generally one main SOP you need to prepare, and like I told you in the meeting, you need to have university specific SOPs. So if you want 3 universities you're going to apply in Germany, just make sure that you add one paragraph in the main SOP about the particular university that you're applying to. So every SOP needs to be modified a little to which university you're applying to. That is
okay.
Yeah.
How I know each university what I prefer to in SOP, man?
See, basically, once you go through the website, you will understand. There, they give very clear, instructions. Once you register as an applicant and you open, they will give you instructions that some universities have a word limit. They will say within 1,000 words or within 800 words, and they will also say please give please talk about your future ambitions. Why are you interested in data science or artificial intelligence? All that they will ask. So you need to talk about your undergraduate studies or your MC and all that, and why you are interested in studying this, like that.
Ma'am, you said that like diversity statement. Each university also they prefer that.
Mostly German universities till now have not come across asking for diversity statements. Mostly many American universities ask for diversity statements, especially those in California seem to be asking. Mostly American universities only are asking. German universities, they ask for technical, statements depending upon the master's program. Till now, I've not come across much diversity statements. No.
Okay. Ma'am, I have one last doubt. So that how can I apply a university like online, any counseling sections or something agencies? I don't know how to. That's I doubt that.
See, basically, you will need to apply directly to the university, but that is why we are creating all these meetings for you. Galvanize is holding. So if you do get in touch with the counselor, they will tell you where exactly you need to go and apply. So basically, for every university, you need to go to their university website portal. First, you have to create an account there as a student. I mean, as an applicant, and then find out what are the required documents. Then once you're finished, filling up the application and finished, all the essays, then you need to upload it and apply. Most of the time, it is directly to every university that you're applying.
Okay, you said there are some counselors are there that the Galvanize provide a counselor that company, not company, the university are giving to me.
No. See, it's not like we have direct touch. Sahil, can you answer this? Like,
Yeah.
Uttara. Yeah.
So Nandu, I would request you to submit the profile evaluation form.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you submit the profile evaluation form, our counselors will get in touch with you via a phone call, and there all the doubts will be cleared.
Okay.
So right from test prep, admissions, your visas, loan, everything, Galvanize is there at your back to help you out. So don't worry. Our counselors will reach you out in some time. Just fill the profile evaluation form, which is sent on the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks,
Nandu. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Ramya, you can take over.
Thank you. So by this, we have come to the end of the session, and I would like to take this opportunity and thank Uttara for being with us throughout this session, because documentation is something very crucial. Though the process looks very simple, it is not. It requires a lot of hard work, efforts, everything out there. As a lot of you have doubt with respect to the documentation process with the applications, how to apply, which is the portal, Galvanize will be there at your back to ease out the things. Once you be with us, we would be with you throughout the journey, right till you step to your dream university out there. With this, I would like to end the session and thank all the students out there for being with us this Saturday, taking time, which means that you are very serious with your dream destination out there. And we would be really glad to be a part of your dream journey out there. And Uttara, would you like to end this session with a couple of words? Anything that you would like to summarize to the students?
Yes. See, basically, like I told in the session, please make sure that, you start the application process early on. So statement of purposes, even if you're going to come to us, even if you're going to take the help of an editor, still it is a time-taking process. So it is very important that, you start it early on and, you get the required help and information, so that systematically you can finish one document after the other and apply well before the deadlines. All right. So this is the basic gist. And, thank you again, like Ramya said, thank you for coming on a Saturday, and, hope you understood what I've told. Yeah. Thank you, Ramya.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice day. All the very best.